And we're off. Well, to all the parents and coaches and players that have jumped on, welcome to our obscure meeting here, our EVC banquet. Probably the first virtual banquet that you've ever attended, but we were not going to miss the opportunity to celebrate our kids and our coaches for getting through an unbelievably different season. Got a lot of experience in the room. These coaches have been around the game a long time, and we're all about learning every day, lifelong learners here at Eastmark. And boy, did we have the opportunity to do that this year. So this is our first season's EVC banquet. If you don't know, EVC stands for East Valley Conference. It is a conference comprised of schools, Queen Creek, Higley, and Chandler. And this season we were baseball, flag football, girls volleyball, and we included tennis, which is normally a second season sport. Undoubtedly, we had our challenges this year. So thank you for hanging in there, being patient as we communicated as many changes that would come. COVID has been a very interesting and thought-provoking and diligence requiring kind of pandemic. Obviously, we can see NFL games are now being played Monday through Sunday, which isn't a terrible thing. Under the circumstances, would prefer it to just be on Thursdays and Sundays and Mondays as always. We had a chance to celebrate some new coaching hires this season. Got to open a brand new tennis facility, which is incredible if you haven't seen it yet. And just know that the EVC is a real conference, and we're pretty privileged to be a part of a real conference where our junior high athletes have actual competition and not intramurals and seasonal tournaments of that nature. So at this time, I want to just thank you, parents and kids, for hanging in there, being present when you can be, and for my coaches for being really on the horn, like 17 hours a day, ready for changes. I want to thank our principal, Paul, who's on the call as a parent here, and just invite him if he has any comments he'd like to add before I introduce you to our first speaker. His daughter is on a tennis team, so he is here in the capacity as my boss, but also a parent of a wonderful young tennis player. So, Paul, you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, Craig, you're also leaving out my son, who's a baseball player. So.
He's not in the background, though. He's not in the background. He's really recognized here. I forgot in the background there.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think some of you who have seen me before speak at the EVC banquet, you know that I love the junior high athletics because it's a great opportunity for kids to experience being on a team, and really for a lot of them, it builds that pride in our school. That's what we want. We want them to be prideful about the school that they attend, and also, like Craig said, I really love the opportunity that kids have to be in the EVC conference because playing the schools out of Chandler and Higley, it exposes students to competition that they maybe haven't seen before. And I think that's a really good thing because it gives them a bar to shoot for the future. And so I love what we do. I love athletics. I was a former coach and have always wanted to be an athletic director, maybe sometime in the future. That'll be in the cards for me because I see the power that it holds for kids, what it does for a community. That's why we built Eastmark here in the Eastmark community, because this community really wanted to have a great athletics and activities program that they could be proud of. So anyway, thank you for being here, taking the time tonight. I know schedules are busy just like mine, but really appreciate all of you and especially our coaches.
All right, at this time, I am going to shut down my screen and begin presenting. And I will introduce our first coaching staff, that is baseball. And I've got three coaches here. Mike Duranchik was working with the 7th grade team. Coach Davison, who's also the voice of the Firebirds, if you've heard him up there in the booth on Friday nights. And Coach Hillstrom here. And then they will go ahead and introduce when their teams are over, and we'll keep this thing rolling here.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Coach Hillstrom. I was the 8th grade baseball coach. Craig mentioned Rich Davison's there. He was a co-coach with me. And Michael Duranchik, the 7th grade coach. I want to thank Craig, you, and Paul, the administration, for letting us have today to celebrate these kids. as a longtime head coach, this is my first time in the middle school. I agree with everything that's been said. This is a good conference. This is a good experience for these young men. Very valuable. And I'm glad we got to celebrate them tonight. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm going to go through the 8th grade roster and just announce those kids so they can be recognized. So 2020 8th grade baseball, Eastmark, Tannen Fox, Etienne Gagnon, Matthew Key, Keanu Mortensen, Jack Rosales, Karter Samprone, Dylan Smith, Austin Snyder, Camden Spear, Tyson Van Every, Aiden Wellington, and Talon Zundell. That was your 8th grade baseball team this season. We'll talk about a recap in just a minute. Before we do that, we do have some individual awards that we want to talk about. The first one is the Firebird Award. To me, this is like the most valuable teammate, the kid who's responsible in and out of the on the field, in the classroom, high character, does the little things, that maybe don't get recognized. And that award goes to Etienne Gagnon, otherwise known as ET. And if, bear with me, parents, if I get a name wrong, I'm doing my best here. I think I got them mostly pretty good. So ET wins the Firebird Award. Congratulations to you. The next one was our defensive MVP. That goes to Karter Samprone. He played a lot of shortstop, pitched, played a little bit of outfield, did a very nice job for us defensively, was one of our better hitters as well. So Karter Samprone, defensive MVP. The next award would be our top pitcher or our pitching MVP. That award goes to Matthew Key. Matt pitched in about half of our games. And if you were on the first Zoom meeting with me when I first got hired at Eastmark, I promised you parents that I wasn't going to hurt anybody's arm, and we took care of them. We kept the pitch counts low and didn't overuse anybody. And Matthew did the best job at anybody on the mound. So good job, Matthew. And then overall MVP for the season was Jack Rosales. Jack was our catcher the whole season. He led our team in hitting. Just a battler back there, good teammate. I think before the last game we played, he was hitting .615 was his average. So Jack Rosales, MVP. Congratulations, Jack. Short recap before I turn it over to Coach Duranchik. Some people will look at the record. We were 1-6, 1-5 during the season. We lost the playoff game. The record means really nothing to me. Not saying we don't play to win, but I think coming in and trying to establish what we want from the kids moving forward in the program and letting the kids know how we coach was more important. Sending those messages, asking them to hustle every day, work hard every day. That's really the kind of the ground, the ground rules or what we wanted to get established, and we did that. The last game of the season, we were playing our best baseball. So really that's what matters to me in the end. Is, if we would have played a full 12 games or 10 games, it might have turned out different record-wise. But again, that's not what I'm concerned with. The kids worked hard every day. I think Rich would agree, and Coach Duranchik. I had a pleasure coaching them. I appreciate you letting me coach them, and we'll look forward to next year, okay, when they come into high school. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Coach Duranchik for the 7th grade.
Hi, everybody. I'm Coach Michael Duranchik. I was the 7th grade baseball coach, and I'm also a chemistry teacher on campus at Eastmark, and I love being a Firebird. And I just want to echo everything that Coach Hillstrom said, or Hilly, as his name says here on the meet. I didn't know he had that nickname, so now I'm going to start calling him that. But one thing that I just wanted to add on was before the season started, us coaches were talking about the possibility of a 7th grade team. We didn't know what the numbers were going to be. And we had, we're kind of on the edge between two teams, but we saw some of the 7th grade players that we had, and we thought we want to give all these guys an opportunity to play. And we're really excited that we did, because the guys really were awesome and they were a pleasure to coach. So I'm going to go through our 4 awards and then I'll give a recap for our season. So the first award for us was also the Firebird Award. And the winner of that was Keagan Heirshberg. He was our catcher, and I may be a little biased, but I think the hardest position in sports is a catcher in baseball, and he did a great job back there. He was always and he was just a rock back there. So good job, Keagan. Next was our defensive MVP, and that goes to Kane Dobson. I always want to say Kane Brown on accident, the singer, but Kane Dobson wins that. He's just such a sharp guy to have out there on the diamond. Can't wait to see him grow up and be a part of the high school team. It was just a pleasure to have him. He was in the running for probably all of these awards, but it's a pleasure to give him the defensive MVP. Then next was offensive MVP, and that goes to Jayson Paulo. I give this solely to Jayson because he had our only extra base hits, and he had a few of them. And he could throw the ball pretty far. So it was pretty awesome to watch him play. So good job, Jayson. And last was our MVP. And this may be a little bit of a dark horse, I think, on our team, but that goes to Trent Skaar. And every time that he came up with the opportunity to deliver, he did. Like if we had somebody on base and needed to knock him in, he normally knocked him in. So he played all around the diamond. He pitched, played second, played center when we needed a guy to catch a fly ball, and he was there. So it was a pleasure to coach these four guys and everybody else on the team. But a recap of our season, we had a couple of games cut off our schedule and a couple added. So it was kind of a whirlwind of a season, but we ended up 0-3-1. But just like what Coach Hillstrom said, I don't think the record was indicative of how we played. We had some really close games, and our players got better every game. And I also agree, our last couple of games were some of our best games, and it was a pleasure to be out there with them. And I loved being a part of the 7th grade team. So, Craig, I don't know who's after me, if you want to introduce them, but I'll hand it back over.
Sure thing. Next up is our tennis team, which is co-ed, 7th and 8th grade. Coach Fatola, you are up.
Well, thank you so much, Craig. I appreciate the time to be able to introduce myself. Last year we started a tennis program here at East Mark, and it was a great season last year for the junior high. We had a great time. We didn't have tennis court at that time, so we used the Queen Creek High School. It was the Queen Creek High School tennis court. So that was very interesting, and that was logistically a little bit challenging. But one thing that I was able to learn from there was getting back into teaching at a level with the junior high kids, and we had about like 5 kids during that time. And last year, this year was a whole different ball game and a really exciting time for the tennis team. And we had now we have a new tennis court, and thanks to Craig and also to the school for providing this opportunity that we have a court on campus, and that made a big difference for us this year. So I wanted to really say thanks to Craig and the whole administration for putting that together. This year, we're able to have the opportunity with Amy as well, Amy Davidson, to join me on the court this year to have we're really having a great time. The kids are working very hard, making a lot of improvements. And so that is something that I really enjoy, really watching the kids really grow and get better. This year, we started off last year we had 5 kids, 6 kids. This year we have over 10 kids that came out for tennis, and even towards the end of the year, we were able to retain at least 10 kids that are really making some great improvements in the tennis court. So they worked hard, every single one of the kids, they really worked hard at a very young program. And so we started off pretty strong. Season started off. Most of the kids have not played tennis before, but due to the hard work that they put in, I would say the highlight of this season so far, we have our conference tournament coming up next on Saturday. But every single one of the kids improved. We've won 3 matches. The last match that we played, every single one of the kids won their matches, singles and doubles. So that was really encouraging. That was very going into having some momentum going to the conference tournament. We were looking forward to them growing and really finishing up the year strong. So I'm really excited about that to see the growth. I also have Amy Davidson here as well. So if you'd like to share a few things, please share, and some of the kids as well, if you have a list of some of the kids on the team, and I'll go through the awards after that.
Okay. So I mentioned we have Addison, Olivia, Brody, Brian, Ken, Logan, Rose, Olivia, Anderson, Thomas, with all and with so you guys and if you want to talk about more, our Firebird is in Rowe and really say everybody.
It seemed like she was there's some challenge with the audio there. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but might be a little audio challenge there. So Amy, thank you so much. I know this is a little challenge for you to do this, but thanks for taking the step to do that. I'm going to go through our awards for tonight. We have 4 awards tonight that we want to give out to. I would say all of the kids really. This was very hard for me to choose. To choose any of the kids to be in the awards, and I think we're actually looking towards giving more awards to these kids, because every single one of them came from the first day and was really made a great improvement throughout this last few weeks here. So I'm gonna just read out some awards here. For MVP is Patrick Anderson. For MVP, he's really made a great improvement. He serves. He came into the program without really a very strong serve, but now his serve is really improved. And ground strokes, he's able to finish up his match like in less than an hour. Most of the kids at this age, they really still struggling with it, how to serve. But he's really made a great improvement on that. MVP, offensive MVP, Thomas Darby, definitely a really good athlete. Really fun to be around on the court. MVP, defensive MVP, that would be Brody, and the Firebird. The Firebird award will go to Anderson Rowe, and these are the 4 awards that we're given today. And it's Addison Rowe, really a great kid, very positive, encouraging, very encouraging to all the kids. A lot of energy on the court, and I could have, that award definitely would have been shared between Addison and I would probably say between Addison and Anna as well. Both of them were very inspiring on the court to see that they play all the sports and being able to make a great improvements here. Also wants to say thanks to Corey as well. She's like our third coach on the team, so she's helped with everything that we've done. And this year we had our first parents and kids tournament this year, and that was really a lot of fun. And also Paul participated in that tournament. It was just between the parents and the kids on the tennis team. So we had a great time with that. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and also to be part of this community. We really appreciate that. That's really giving us the opportunity to share the game of tennis with the kids. So I'm going to pass this on to Daniel, the volleyball coach. Thank you very much, Craig, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hi, guys. Robert Jackson here. I'm the 8th grade volleyball coach. Daniel Arrington is our 7th grade coach. He can't be here tonight. He's coaching national club volleyball teams right now. Daniel is also the varsity head coach, and I assist him at the high school level. So we definitely have a vested interest in the middle school program. Developing a new program at the high school is always a challenge, and our main goal this year was to make sure the 7th and 8th graders really love playing volleyball and have a great time. Obviously, next is just working to develop their skill level, which was challenging in such a short season. And so we kind of took a no-nonsense approach to it and tried to get as many reps as we could in our short practices and in the short season. And, we were able to see some of those players improve on the 7th and 8th grade team dramatically in such a short amount of time. I want to thank the parents for trusting us with their kids and allowing us to work with them. We had such a great group of kids. I mean, we had 12 girls on the 7th grade team and another 12 on the 8th grade team. And all of them were extremely hardworking, focused, and a joy to work with. I want to thank Super Scott, our equipment manager as well. He sure helps us out a lot. I'm sure all you other coaches can agree, not only with equipment and stuff, but with setup. And man, I think at most of our home matches, he was there keeping score or running the clock. So just a guy that works hard for kids and goes unnoticed. So I want to thank him. We had a successful season. I think both teams started the year 5-0, 7th and 8th grade. 7th graders finished the year 6-2, and the 8th graders finished 7-2 on the year. So we were able to win a lot of games. Our 7th grade awards, we have our Firebird Award, which basically we boiled down to the same type of things the other coaches said. Someone that hustles, that's extremely coachable, that's a good teammate, and kind of may go unnoticed in the stat columns, and that goes to Kambry Bingham for 7th grade. She was a girl that was the setter for one team and then would come in and just fill any spot we needed her to, sometimes in a critical situation. So I'm really proud of her. The 7th grade defensive MVP was Callie Cutchin. She's a very competitive player, very scrappy, and worked really one of the leaders on the 7th grade team and helped some new to the game learn the game this year. Our offensive MVP on the 7th grade was Makenna Vollaro. And she's someone we set the ball to a lot, extremely tall and talented, good athlete, and great attitude. She's someone that's just going to keep getting better the more she plays, and she's going to be fun to watch in the future. And our overall MVP for the 7th grade is Brooke Harwood, another tall girl. Tall is good in volleyball, but great athlete, great attitude, smiling on the court all the time. And most of those girls are playing club volleyball as well, so they're going to continue to improve, and it's going to be exciting to watch them in the future. For our 8th grade team, we had our Firebird Award that goes to Isabelle Hawkins. Izzy, as we call her, is a coach's dream. Great attitude, great teammate. She's someone that started the year as a setter for us, even though she maybe is not a setter. That's just what we needed, and she's willing to do whatever the team needs. We moved her to libero later in the year, and she's just a stud, just a great kid to have on the team with her attitude and effort. Our defensive MVP goes to Olivia Pastor. Olivia is an extremely talented player. She can serve well, hit well, but this year we asked her to be our libero to start the year. And man, she did a great job on serve receive and just digging the ball for us and covering the court. So congratulations, Olivia. Our offensive MVP goes to Shawntia Miller. And Shawntia is one of the girls that catches everyone's eye on the court because she can jump up and put the ball away. And where I come from, the 8th graders, you don't normally see that. So she's a pretty special player, and a girl that's going to be very exciting to watch in the future. Our overall MVP goes to Isabella Jackson. Really competitive kid for us, kind of takes on that other leadership role for us, and played all the way around the net. She did some setting and some hitting. Good defender and a very good server. So she did a lot of good things for us this year. Overall, we're extremely pleased with the season and look forward to watching these girls help us at the high school level starting next year with some of those 8th graders. Next up, we have flag football coach Daryl Allen.
All right. Hope everybody can hear me. I can talk
We got
a little bit about this season, how it started for us. It was kind of chaotic. I got asked probably 2 weeks before the season started, and it kind of feels like I accepted the job 2 days before it was time to report. It may not have been that close, Craig, but I'm saying it that way. I do have a few people to thank. Craig, thank you very much. There's times you had to actually start football practice for me. Mr. Green, tremendous, helped me out a ton. When I originally got asked to coach flag football, I didn't realize it was 75 kids. I just thought I was coaching football. And then all these kids showed up, and I was like, wow, what am I going to do with all this? But we found a way to make it work. I'm going to start a little bit on the 7th grade team. The thing I love about those kids the most is they were just hungry every day. And they were hungry for football. Not that they necessarily knew what they were doing all the time. They just were hungry for football. They showed up all the time. They wanted to compete. Even when things weren't going right for them, they just kept competing all the time, and I really appreciated that in them. The 8th grade team was a group of kids who I think are truly going to benefit Eastmark long term as far as the overall football program is concerned. Those are some very talented kids, and as they continue to learn and grow the game of football, it's only going to make Eastmark that much better. So I'm super excited for those guys and what they bring to the future of Eastmark football. 7th grade awards, real quick. I'm going to start off with the Firebird Award goes to Bodie Branton. And the reason why I picked Bodie for that award is he actually was in a quarterback competition. He did not win the position. And what he did is he came to me and said, Coach, I'll play anywhere on the field you want me to play. I just want to play football. And he did that every single day. Even when he was asked to go in and play backup quarterback, he did it. He never once complained. He never said, Coach, it wasn't fair. Kid just showed up every day and played football, and I absolutely appreciated that very much. So good job, Bodie. Our defensive MVP was Don Durham. This kid flashed out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he just started pulling flags like a madman. And he was all over the field. It could be 20 yards down the field, and he was hustling from essentially playing a line position, which we called nitro, and he was all over the field just pulling flags. I mean, it was like he was addicted to pulling flags. But this kid flashed, and he never stopped flashing all year. Our offensive MVP was Brady McQueen, which was our quarterback. We had a shortened season, so we didn't get a whole lot of reps as far as game time is concerned. But he had his moments in games where he absolutely played pretty well to be a young kid and probably starting for the first time at quarterback. So I really appreciated that for him and the effort that he gave. The young man that I picked as our MVP, I probably can't say his last name right, but I'm going to try it anyways. Do not kill me for butchering it. His name is Chase Grigalonis. I think that's how you say it. This young man plays way bigger than his height by far. He was absolutely sometimes our entire offense. He carried us on his back from time to time, and he was lights out. Without a shadow of a doubt, I was absolutely impressed with this young man, and I'm glad he's coming back next year. Move on to our 8th grade team. And the Firebird Award goes to this young man, and this kid has me so excited about coming back to coach next year. His name is Dylan Gesner. Dylan is everywhere. Will do anything you ask him to do, but as a wide receiver, as a young wide receiver, this young man is outstanding. His route running is tremendous. His hands are just catches almost everything you throw at him. But the thing I loved about Dylan the most is just the young man that he's grown and developed into. I enjoyed being around him all year, and can't wait to get back and coach him again. Our defensive MVP was Rockwell Miller. Rock grew a lot as a person. He had to accept coaching on a harder level this time, and he did it, and he started to really perform. And there was games where Rock literally would take over the game defensively. And he learned how to play football, not off his height, not necessarily off his skill set, but off his mind. And I was really impressed with Rock doing that, with me requesting him calling our entire defenses and things of that nature. And he did a really good job of picking that up in a short amount of time, and I was really impressed with that. Our offensive MVP was Xavier Wade. Xavier came on real strong and probably caught half of our touchdown passes this year. Another young man, unselfish, wasn't a give me the football kind of guy, still ran his route hard, did everything I asked him to do. And, excited about what he's going to do on the next level at Eastmark. Our overall MVP was Uriah Neloms. This kid is special. Man, is he special. He could do things on his own. Sometimes it was like having a right-handed Michael Vick that I would just let him kind of take control of the offense and run it. I trusted him a lot. He did a really good job. And I'm excited about what he does going forward for Eastmark as well. In closing for us, like I said, I think the future is bright for football at Eastmark, and having a flag football program that's competitive and competes in this league is only going to help our football program get that much better and help these kids develop that much more. And I'm excited. I'm also excited to see what we're going to do with an opportunity to know that I'm coming back as a head coach and we get a chance to really work at this thing. So I'm excited about that as well. But I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I appreciate you trusting me to be the head flag football coach, and look forward to being back next year. I'm going to pass this back to Mr. Luschner.
All right. I've finished the presentation side there. Coaches, thank you for joining. I want to just close with a couple of interesting stories about our season here. I think we're in a wonderful position where we have 4 varsity head coaches running our junior high teams. That's a level of unique experience that a lot of schools don't get the opportunity to offer, albeit Coach Allen is the head varsity softball coach, but he's coached a little bit of football in his days from Florida, and I believe he played in college, and I think he's still got it, to be honest. But you've got head coaches who are hustling straight from their day job to get here. Coach Allen, thank you for that. You got Coach Fatola's running an international business out of a different country. Coach Hillstrom has been doing this job longer than I've probably been alive. He looks young, though. You got Coach Duranchik, who is just teaching every different science level that you could ever imagine and doing it well and getting a little bit of time after school. And then, of course, you got Coach Arrington, who's trying to run a volleyball gym with a national caliber program while fitting in a little bit of time for our 7th and 8th graders on the side of his varsity and JV program as well. So you get a unique level of experience from your coaching staff, which is, it makes me smile. It gets me excited. As you can tell, I'm a little juiced up right now. But we get some unique kids too, and unique families. We've got military families. We've got firefighter parents. We've got a Super Bowl champion as one of our flag football parents. You've got people coming from all walks of life, and out on the field, it's really starting to gel, and it's starting to come together a little bit. We know it's going to be a process. One of the processes this season was, hey, Daryl, can you coach flag football for me? I got 24 kids on the team. Sure, no problem. That's easy. And then the first day of practice, there was 75 kids arrived. So we're going to preemptively hire him some assistants. Baseball, talked about the wins and losses. One of the hardest things for our baseball program here is having 2 levels means you can't take the 5 best 7th graders and the 4 best 8th graders to make a super team. You have to play each level as it is. I think if we had that ability to do like we did in flag football last year, we could be looking at a couple deeper playoff runs, but that's the best opportunity to get as many kids on the field and get them ready for what counts. Varsity counts. JV starts to count a little bit more. Freshman is a good entry to the high school. Our new freshman is 7th grade. We've got 4 levels to go before you hit that varsity level. So having the ability to combine teams makes you stronger. We'll see that in some of our sports, but we also want that opportunity to kind of go past that and make sure that we have enough players to field 2 teams. That way we can really get a better sample size and develop a deeper level of talent. You know, if anyone plays fantasy football, I can tell you right now, your bench better be stacked up for the next 3 weeks, because we all know that someone like a Lamar Jackson is going to be out for 2 weeks. So developing that depth is integral in the health of the program. The better the program, the better opportunity it gives your children as individuals. So I just want to thank these coaches for really, you know, going above and beyond, not having a lot of junior high experience, a lot more of the collegiate and the varsity experience, trying something new, being a good leader for their feeder programs, which are inherently on our campus, for the kids and the parents getting those emails like, hey, just so you know, practice is changing 12 hours from now due to XYZ, or the transportation has changed, or the game time has changed. Luckily, got a little bit more time to plan for the upcoming seasons, and our seasons will be posted here, and they'll be coming through the newsletter here shortly. But this has been a wonderful experience. It's tiring, but it's exciting, and it's motivating. So it gives us a reason to get out of bed, get our butts to school every day, learn everything that we can, and it gives us an opportunity to hold ourselves accountable and to a high standard. So to everybody here that's on the call, thanks for joining tonight. To everybody that's not on the call, I will get this posted up on our school's YouTube page in the Fame Academy. And until next season, have a great holiday. Stay safe. You know, wear your mask, wash your hands, do all that good stuff. And we hope to see you again real soon. Next season for junior high begins games on January 5th, and that schedule will come out very soon. So good luck to everybody this season coming up, especially if you're playing the next season. And we'll see you at the next banquet. Have a great night.
Thanks, Craig.